Right then, it was the Lucknow Super Giants eking out a 12-run win, and that'll be doing them something special at the start of IPL 2022. We have, of course, Graeme Swann in this match review. Don't go anywhere. Unfortunately for Sunrisers Hyderabad, they find themselves still winless in this year's tournament. And with that, we'll bring on Graeme Swann on the show right now. Swanee, it wasn't the best of IPL games, but still the job needed to be done by LSG and they got it done.
Yeah, you say that. I mean, it wasn't a classic chasing 200 and winning or whatever, but I think it was a pretty good game in the fact that, 170 gets defended. 170 nowadays is such a par score, you think. And there's so many big sixes being hit along the way that at one point it looked like Sunrisers were timing their run rate okay, their chase okay, I thought. But they never quite got their noses in front, I felt. And even though it must be different though, because I'm not at the ground tonight. The ground's just outside my hotel. And I was listening to the commentators and they seemed to think that Sunrisers were just ahead of the 8-ball. But I thought Lucknow were when I was watching it on TV. So it's just one of those things. At the ground there was obviously a different feeling, and that means that at the ground Sunrisers will be doubly disappointed that they fell 12 runs short.
Absolutely. Let's quickly take a look at the match summary then, because it will tell us obviously everything that we need to know. Now, KL Rahul had that sedate start and then he made a 68, relatively slow time according to his standards, but nevertheless kind of propelled LSG to a reasonable total, you would say. But in reply, like Swanee said, SRH were pacing themselves really well, but unfortunately couldn't get over the line. Now that means they won the toss on 2 occasions, opted to chase and failed in both times. Now, will they kind of change their strategy in the next match?
Well, you'd think yes, probably, because they've tried something twice and it's not worked twice, and the definition of lunacy is to keep on doing something that doesn't work. But I saw a lot of things that were very good from Sunrisers tonight. A few things that just quite aren't there, and I don't know whether that's because the players are out of form or not in their best form. But people like Nicholas Pooran is getting better. You can see his work with Brian Lara, and his form is improving. When he gets there and gets more confidence, and he will get confidence from tonight, he's an absolute gun. When Kane Williamson gets more runs than, he got a decent start today, but then got out. When he kicks on, they could easily chase or set any total that's good enough to win a game. So I'm still not too concerned about Sunrisers. They've got such a good backroom staff. Brian with the batting, Dale Steyn with the bowlers as well. They're going to get there. So what I'm more impressed about is Lucknow. In their first season as a franchise, they're up there near the top of the table now with the mighty Rajasthan Royals.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive from Gautam Gambhir as a team mentor to lead those troops out, and he's getting the best of everyone over there. Now, let's just stick with SRH a little bit more, because we spoke about it before the match, Swanee, about matchups, and in particular, KL and Quinton de Kock against Washington Sundar, and he sussed them out. Do you think Kane Williamson got that right in the night?
Well, he absolutely did, of course. And I'm not sure whether he watched our interview the other day and thought, right, if Swanee says so, then we'll do it. But it's definite tactic to go to Quinton de Kock early on. He is so good against the seamers and with pace coming onto the ball with his big cover drives and pull shots. But he's not as comfortable with the off spin. He doesn't mind it when it's turning into him so much. He helps it on its way with the big sweep slogs, but doesn't like the angle coming into him and then straightening up. So Washington Sundar has got him a few times. It's the perfect matchup. And so it proved tonight. It was a good catch as well by Williamson.
Yeah, indeed it was. Let's talk about LSG then, because what they did better on the night, many would say, was the bowling, and everyone kind of chipped in. We'll start with the spinners. First and foremost, Bonnie, do you think Krunal and Ravi Bishnoi are probably the league's most underrated spinners, but they kind of get the job done every now and then?
I think Krunal's underrated. I think he always does a good job. He's difficult to get away. He's good at bowling into the pitch, and that means just back of a good length, and it's a hard length to just hit through the line, hit for 6. I don't think we can say Bishnoi is underrated, because he's excellent. He really is a highly rated bowler. But what's been good this year is a lot of spinners for a lot of franchises looking great form, look very confident. They've got a lot of rhythm, and Bishnoi is one of them. So yeah, Bishnoi, Kuldeep, Chahal, they're all doing well, and it's great to see. Go on, you spinners.
Yeah, brilliant stuff, but not just the spinners, because it was the pacers also who came to the party. I'll talk about Avesh Khan in just a bit, but Jason Holder's back, and that gives them that cushion to rely on every now and then, not just with the ball, but with the bat in hand. A word on Holder and how he kind of slips onto the radar from time to time, being just an excellent T20 cricketer.
Well, absolutely. And it would have to be against the Sunrisers, wouldn't it? His first game back. It would have to be against the team he was playing for last year. But he's a wonderful cricketer these days. And I'll tell you what I like about him. He always picks up wickets, but it seems to have a bit of lady luck on his side. And I'm not taking anything away from Jason Holder. People who are in good form and they're confident cricketers, little things tend to go their way. Like the first ball of that last over, it was sort of a length ball that you'd think could easily have gone for 6 and put the game on a knife edge, was mishit up in the air and caught. Little things like that are going his way, and he's really reveling in that, and the confidence that's coming from good performances, he's using that to make an even better performance next game. So Jason Holder, I think there's a lot of franchises looking around thinking, I wish we had him in our ranks.
Yeah, 3 wickets again. He's everyone's fantasy pick, that we can rest assured. Now, one man who did really well in the fantasy scheme of things and in reality is Avesh Khan. 10 crores is what they bought him for at the auction, the LSG. And now it's money really proving to be a good spend, really. 4 for 24. What impressed you the most? His 2 overs in the power play where he got, 2 for 9, or the 2 in the back end? And is he Lucknow's best bowler?
I'm not going to say he's Lucknow's best bowler because I think they're a very well balanced attack, and I think it's taken too much away from the spinners by saying he's the best bowler. But he's in very good form. He's a really good bowler. I mean, that 10 lakhs is looking money very well spent. What most impressed me was when he came back on and he got hit for the 6 first ball, and rather than lose the plot and then lose the game, he got 2 wickets in that over. He kept his head, kept his pace up, and bowled really well. So yeah, he's bowling really well with the new ball and picking up wickets. It's so important for any captain to have a guy who's picking up wickets, but to be able to come on and keep his head when the 6s started flying at the end, he's in really good nick. And he looks happy, doesn't he? He's got a smile on his face. I mean, he likes a growl when he's bowling because he's a fast bowler, and they love a growl at the batsman. But when he's beating the bat, when he gets his wickets, his face immediately lights up. He's really enjoying his cricket. It's good to see.
Indeed. Let's just end this match review by asking you about SRH, because you mentioned those legends over there, Imran Lara, Dale Steyn, and not to forget Mutai Muralitharan. When they all go back to the hotel room tonight, and they'll be, of course, reassessing in the morning, going back to the drawing board, what will be the biggest talk out of that? And also, potential changes that you see in this SRH team for the next game, Swanee?
I don't know whether it's worth making too many changes. I think it's worth going and looking at how they, allowed Lucknow to get up to 170, because they weren't in a great position. Like 3 early wickets, it wasn't looking great for them, but they managed to get a decent partnership together and then cruise to 170 almost in the end. So maybe just at the times you bring in your bowlers on, how attacking you can be in the middle, maybe it's different. Like I said, I don't think they did a great deal wrong tonight, Sunrisers, other than not quite get up with the run rate, or get past the run rate, sorry. I think if you get that one boundary ahead of the run rate in a chase, it makes a massive difference. And although they got up with it, they never quite got their noses in front. So I still think with them, it's just a confidence thing. They've got such a good squad and such a good coaching staff. That coaching staff, I can't believe I missed out Muralitharan earlier as well. What an amazing coach that is as well. So between the 3 of the specialist coaches, Muralitharan, Steyn, and Lara, come on, they're going to do fine. They're going to get the best out of these players.